Hey, what's up YouTube? Xynx back here with another reaction. Now, if you've seen my very first video that I posted on this channel, I found a random introductory video to K-pop to start me off on my journey. And let me just say that from knowing next to nothing at all about K-pop, that it was at least a very good jumping off point. And I had to start somewhere, right? Now, a ton of you guys have been suggesting checking out DKDKTV's K-pop history in 20 minutes for a more in-depth look at the industry. And since getting a few Generation 1 songs under my belt and from reading all of your comments, things have been starting to click a little bit. And so before I start getting into the later generations, I'm hoping to fill in some more of the gaps with this video here. Hey, and real quickly before we start, I would greatly appreciate it if you hit the like and subscribe buttons down below. Alright, let's get to it. Alright guys, K-pop history in 20 minutes. From Seo Taiji to BTS. 21 minutes. Let's go.
There's one thing this video needs.
K-pop!
K-pop! K-pop!
K-pop!
K-pop! K-pop!
K-pop!
K-pop!
Korean pop.
K-pop!
K-pop, popular music originating in South Korea and encompassing a variety of styles. As you've seen, K-pop has grown exponentially. Everyone in the world, like it or not, must have seen a K-pop related video at least once, either if it's Gangnam Style or a BTS video or an annoying K-pop dance.
Gangnam Style's the only one I've seen.
You might not be sure on what K-pop.
Oh, these all look
is
so
and
cool.
where and when it began.
I'm excited.
Well, it all comes down to a country called South Korea, a peninsula located in East Asia in between China and Japan. Korea was doing great with its kingdoms and dynasties for more than 4,000 years until 1910 to 1945 when Korea was colonized by Japan. And from 1950 to 1953,
Well, this really is a
Korean
history
War
lesson
happened,
now.
splitting Korea into North and South. Then Korea was stuck in the Cold War. Due to war and all, the economy wasn't that great. Thus, the music industry wasn't that public nor diverse. Well, Korea did have music like traditional sounds or Japanese-influenced trot. 1970s, economy got a little better. Jeans, acoustic guitars, young kids enjoying life, rock, folk music happened.
I think someone mentioned trot
and creativity.
music.
They want you to work.
Wonder what that's like.
2 words, folk songs and ballads. First, Korean ballads kick in. People like these dudes make ballad really
You know,
pop.
I
Legendary
appreciate
dudes
a good
like
ballad.
Jordan pop out. Bands like Shinawi, Drugukwa pop out. People start listening to these dudes instead of these dudes.
Might be the
Until
Filipino in me.
90s, Korea gets rich. No one's unemployed. People call it the miracle of Han River. Successful Olympics, CD distribution. Kids get to wear Nike shoes, buy music, go to concerts, clubs happen, dancing becomes a thing. Finally, the good old 90s arrive. Ding ding, hi.
Oh, here we go.
Hi, I'm K-pop. All these new genres start to bloom. Hip-hop, dance, R&B, soul, gospel, and of course the popularity of ballads and folk songs continues.
Trying to see if
Now,
I
all these
recognize
artists
some
start
of
writing
the
their own
artists here.
songs. A lot of singer-songwriters appear like Shin Seung-woon, Lee Seung-wan, Yoon Jong-shin, Jeolname, Toy, and more. Boom, March 1992. This dude named Seo Taiji appears out of nowhere.
There we go.
Actually, he was
Set-
in the
how do you
aforementioned
pronounce
rock
it?
band
Seo Taiji?
Shinawi as a bassist. So in the meantime, he was doing his own thing and explores the world of media music, aka electronic digital. He's also a born rebel. He looks different. His crew dances like crazy. His band Seo Taiji and Kids released an album called SeoTaiji with the title song called I Know. They just sweep all the existing awards out there. Similar groups like Deuce might be competitors, but Seo Taiji and Kids and their songs and performances change everything. Critics claim 1992 is the most important year in Korean pop music.
I've been playing that song in my car, like,
trot, ballad, and folk music. They
on my
released 4 albums
playlist.
afterwards until 1996. He mixes up hip hop and traditional music in Hyoga.
It's funny, like,
techno,
I wouldn't
and he
have
uses heavy metal rock
recognized
and
any of
classical
these
metal,
songs,
criticizing the Korean
but now that I've listened to
Within the public zone,
that
he
one
tries to
Seo Taiji
rewind the
song,
and thinks he's Satan or gay. They keep on tackling
it just
social
pops out
issues like
familiar to me now.
reunification, environment, drugs, education. He's basically the Tupac of K-pop. Speaking of Tupac, he even touches gangster rap in his last album title, Come Back Home. And then they disband, more like disappear. Poof.
Come back home.
Just like that, leaving one message: we
That's what it
showed
felt
you
like.
everything we can try. Korea freaks out. Kids don't go to school,
What happened there?
protest, attempt suicide. People say K-pop is dead. Well, false alarm. Seo Taiji and Kids might be gone, but their impact still lives. Now, listening radio equals lame. On the other hand, watching TV, performances, dance music, choreographies, style, competition equals cool. Young teenage fans, official fan clubs, fan meetings, fanfics, Hashing fans, fan wars, capital, artist management. It was like a cult, and Seo Taiji and Kids were their idol. On the side, the tornado dance from I Know was the first dance choreo that went viral. Now, corporates see
Tornado
money in
dance.
K-pop and idol businesses. Samsung, Doosan, Hyundai, LG, Daewoo, Lotte all make their own record companies and labels. Competition begins. Huge investments flow from their mother company. Ambitious
their own
scouting
labels?
projects, new market, but no system yet. Expenses overissued, no transparency, business based on few inner circle connections. Result, obviously, all gone in a few years. Big
This was
failure.
all just in
Then
the
there's
90s?
DSP.
Like,
The founder,
it-
Lee Ho-yeon, had some actual
Not that
experience
long
managing
ago,
big
huh?
artists like Taejina, Yuhyul, Shimshin, and Sobangcha. Sobangcha was actually close to an idol group model way before Seo Taiji and Kids in 1987. However, their music was more trot-based and had very
Oh, that's
simple
trot?
thus not as impactful as an idol group like like SeoTaiji and Kids. Anyways, Lee Yeon, who had the experience, makes his own label
87.
DSP in 1991. Wasn't really successful during the SeoTaiji era. Then in 1996, launches a group literally called Idol that initially had decent popularity, but gets demolished by SM Entertainment's HOT. 1996 and HOT debuts, hardcore rap, distinct fashion, and
There's Candy.
hairstyles. Criticized
Oh my god,
aside,
I'm
HOT is
recognizing
made by
these.
today's famous SM Entertainment.
I
Founded
never
by
thought I
Lee
would.
Yeon, in short, SM. Starts as SM Studio in 1989, then reforms into
Studio.
SM Entertainment in 1995. SM develops a systematic idol training system and earns huge success with HOT. DSP gets mad.
So they
1997, they throw out
develop
Xynx
the
Kids.
training
SM activates their
system now?
trap card. Girl group SES debuts in December 1997.
We did that song.
And then DSP says, well, actually, no, IMF says, everyone hold your fire. Korea will be entering the economic crisis. People lose jobs, businesses go bankrupt, half of the entertainment labels shut
Oh, that
down,
sucks.
TV music programs get canceled. People are struggling. They're jumping off bridges, so they aren't really cool or interested about idols. Well, 1998 comes. SMB like, the show must go on. Pops out Shinhwa. DSP says, hold my beer. We present you Finkel. At this point,
Oh,
SM
we
and
did
DSP is the
Finkel too.
Marvel in DC Comics of this era. HOT
You know, I'm
versus
so-
Tex
I'm
Kids,
glad
SES
that
versus Finkel,
we listened to
Shinhwa versus
Generation 1.
GOD. Well, GOD was actually
Start
produced
from the
by a
beginning.
third company called JYP and wasn't
GOD.
actually the typical dance
Oh, I love that
but I'll
song.
get to that later. Each company and group shares the trophies and awards around music shows turn after turn, and of course on the way there were other groups like Baby Vox, Chakra, Cleo, and talented solo artists like Yoo Seung-jun, Park Ji-yoon, Lee Jung-yeon as well. Looking back, we now call this
I didn't
era
even
the first
look at those
generation
ones.
of K-pop. Meanwhile,
First
you might
gen.
be wondering whatever happened to SeoTaiji and the boys after they disbanded. I don't know about SeoTaiji himself, but one
Yeah, guys, if you haven't
was
checked out
planning
my reaction
something.
videos
Yang
to
Seok was the rapper
the
and
Generation
dancer
1
of SeoTaiji and
songs,
Boys, was trying out a
check out
talent
my
as a
channel, check out my
producer, but was
playlist.
kind of unlucky in the meantime. But anyways, opened up his own company, Hyun Label,
It's
in
very fun.
1996, but kind of
Starting
flopped
from the
with a group
beginning.
called Keepsakes. Then renames his company to MF Label and launches the hip-hop duo Jnushun. Jnushun surprisingly did pretty well, even though hip-hop was pretty new. Yang Hyun-suk was well known to have an influence and background in hip-hop dance and music. He was spotted in Itaewon dancing all the time before his debut dates. So this background and success with Jnushun led him to reform his company into YG Entertainment and launched another hip-hop group called One Time. First generation
Yeah, we're-
K-pop was sparked by SeoTaiji and boys. Everything got
We're gonna be
systematic,
getting into
like
these,
trainee systems and all. Groups with crazy hair,
new
crazy
artists
fashion,
over
and
here
dance music.
soon.
K-pop still kind of strange, new, but popular to the public. Kind of trying to imitate American pop. While corporate-backed labels died with the IMF crisis, labels with professional music background become big, like DSP, SM, and YG. It was the opening, a door to a new era, to the 21st century. Second generation begins. Wade says 1.5
Second gen.
On the
Oh,
conversion to
1.5
second
gen.
there is a transition stage. Surprisingly, a lot of solo artists who sing ballads, R&B, and groups that do ballads or rock become super popular.
It confused me at first when I heard 1.5 gen.
The Cross, VOS,
I thought people were just
SG1.
making it up.
Then where'd K-pop go? Well, many talented solos were there to bridge the transition. The famous Boa, known as
we
Asia's
go,
star,
Boa.
arguably the most successful solo female K-pop artist in history, from SM Entertainment. Got casted by Izuman himself and debuted at August 2000. Also debuted in Japan. Critics
super
say
good.
Boa is one of the biggest contributors and pioneer in opening foreign markets for K-pop and SM. Boa gets to get all these first, youngest, most,
Jeez.
blah 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 titles and rewrites K-pop history. Other solo artists also
Yeah,
kept
starting
the
at
K-pop
13
flame
for her.
burning with competitions such as Rain and Seven. Speaking of Rain, let's get back to JYP. Park Jin-young, aka JYP, is this dude that was active during the SeoTaiji era as well. Initially got refused numerous times from labels due to his weird face and body, but finally debuts in
His weird
1994
face
as
and
a
body.
solo artist. Tale is, SM himself rejects JYP from an audition, but later asks in private just because he wants to buy songs JYP produced. JYP is extremely talented in dancing and also being sexy, which was a first for a male at that time. Won many number ones during the era, even with the competition with SeoTaiji and Kids. Became a singer-songwriter and producer and made hit songs like Honey and Swing Baby. With that experience, goes on as a producer, producing
so many
G.O.D,
songs
once
that
called The Nation's Group, and also
wanna
excavates
listen to.
Park Ji-yoon, who sang Adult Ceremony, also produced by JYP. And in the midst of that, makes
That
his own
melody
company,
sounds familiar.
JYP Entertainment. Back to Rain. Rain was a backdancer of JYP and Park Ji-yoon. JYP trained Rain and debuted him, also giving him many hit songs like
Yeah, I
How
think
to
I've heard
Avoid the
about
Sun
Rain. Wasn't
and
he in
It's
like
Rain.
the movie Speed Racer or something like that?
Boa from SM, Rain from JYP, Seven from YG. This is when we start to see the three companies grow and become the now known big three of K-pop, SM, JYP, YG. Another fun fact about the
big
1.5
three.
generation is that many solo artists tried their luck after disbanding from the first generation groups, like Kangta, Pada, Okjuyeon, Eunjiwon. However, to be honest, their popularity wasn't like before.
I've heard from you
Except
guys that
maybe Ihori, former Finkel
there's a
member
lot
that
of
was
solo
most
artists that
popular
come
among
from
the
groups.
members, but suddenly pops up with a sexy solo debut and becomes Korea's diva. Finally, it's second gen. The idol groups are
Second
back,
gen.
and the public is used to the word idol. SM Entertainment introduces TVXQ in 2004. They get
Okay,
the
we'll
Rookie
take a look
Awards,
at them.
actually all the awards. Gets a Taesang on their second debut year and gets a Grand Slam in 2006. Another Grand Slam in 2008. Oricon chart #1 in Japan. It's not a stretch to say they basically
I think
conquered
you guys have been
Korea,
suggesting,
Japan, and
was
China.
it
SM got
Neurotic?
rich. They make
Something
more
like that
groups
from
like
them?
Super Junior in 2005, Girls' Generation 2007,
Junior.
Shiny, and FX in 2009. Super Junior becomes extremely
So
popular with
many
songs
groups.
like Sorry Sorry in China and Southeast Asia. Girls' Generation becomes the nation's girl group with their stunning visuals and charmful songs like Kissing You and Baby Baby. They don't stop with Korea. They go off to conquer Japan with their songs G, Genie, and O, bringing all those titles from Japan charts and album sales. Shiny puts out super addictive songs like Juliet, Ring Ding Dong, Lucifer, and achieves attention from mostly Japan and Southeast Asia, eventually touring all around these areas. FX shows the experimental side of SM. They carry a unique concept with all of their songs with obscure lyrics. Their
Everything's
unique
evolving.
electronic songs get very positive reactions from professional music critics. And note that we start to see non-Korean
You could tell
members,
that
such
just
as Victoria
the
and
production
Envy. With all
quality
these groups, SM
is
now
amped up
all
so
over
much.
Asia. Now SM might be big. No group could rival TVXQ, but here comes a big group. Big Bang. Big Bang from YG Entertainment is a little different. Debuted in 2006 as 5 members from a real survival program conducted by Yang Hyun-suk himself, Big Bang places its roots into hip-hop. 2007, they released their EP Always with the song Lies. This song was so big that it made them escalate to the top immediately.
Survival programs,
They
kind of
had
like
major hit songs after
competition
hit songs
shows,
like
kind of
Last
like
Farewell, Haru Haru, Red Sunset.
don't they have some here in the US too?
Unquestionable #1 group in Korea. They go on doing solo work, Japan activities, world tours,
Weren't like,
Sleep Awards,
Pussycat
pointless to
Dolls,
list the
some
chief.
sort of
They go on
thing like
further
that?
with a career with mega hits like Blue, Fantastic Baby, Loser, Baby, Bang Bang Bang. Big Bang becomes the most popular, influential, listened to group. No male group can rival them in the second gen except maybe early TVXQ. The biggest point that differentiated them would be that the general public, including men, loved and sang most of their hit songs.
They're mentioning
Big Bang's leader G-Dragon
TVXQ
produced
quite
most
a
of
few
these
times.
mega hit songs, not to mention his successful solo work,
G-Dragon.
and lives as the biggest Korean fashion, music, and trend icon to this day. So who is Girls' Generation's rival then? In YG Entertainment, probably 21. 4-member group debuted in 2009 with a very different concept, strong female image. Releases mega hits like Fire, I Don't Care, Go Away, Lonely, I Am the Best. They were the best, ranked as one of the best K-pop groups of the past decade by Billboard, and a female group that finally offered an alternative concept from the traditional pretty cutesy girl group stereotype. Girls' Generation and 21 weren't rivals in style because they were so different. However, the two groups were huge and probably the most successful girl groups in second-gen K-pop history. Speaking of girl groups, we have to go back to JYP because JYP is known as the girl group Royal Company. Wonder Girls is among one, debuted in
JYP for
2007,
girl
put out
group.
major hits like Tell Me, So Hot, Nobody, which were all
So
viral
retro,
hits
look at
within
that.
the nation and Asia due to their simple and catchy point dances. In 2008 Haiwon Seoul Music Awards, they received their first Taesang as a girl group, competing with Big Bang and TVXQ. Before Girls' Generation got extremely popular, they had the nation's girl group title in 2007 to 2008. Their style was distinct compared to Girls' Generation or 21 because it was mostly retro pop or electro funk. Wonder Girls were the first to appear on an American TV show, showing the possibilities of expansion of K-pop to the West. Nobody was the first
I have heard that
K-pop
song
to
before.
enter the Billboard Top 100 chart. On the other hand,
Yeah, that
JYP
got pretty
puts out
popular
boy
over
groups
here.
such as 2PM and 2AM, who respectively have the Monster Idol
They had that
and Ballad
dance too.
Prince concept.
I remember
2PM
that.
does especially well with hit songs like 10 out of 10, Again and Again, and Heartbeat, also becoming a sensation
Wait, who
in
is this?
Korea and Japan. Here we see Nickun, a member of 2PM from Thailand, showing that K-pop is surely expanding beyond China and Japan. Now, it would be safe to say that the second gen of K-pop was led by the mentioned groups. There are other groups such as 4 Minute who made a strong impact and shift on the concept of girl groups. Then there was Kara, produced by DSB, and were known as big competitors to the Wonder Girls and Girls' Generation. Japan went crazy over them. Everyone knew their songs and choreographies like Step
Kara.
and Mr. Now, can we move on third gen? Well, maybe yes or maybe no. Some
That
people
was all
draw the line
second
by
gen?
10 years, as in 2000 to 2010. Some experts draw the line by sudden inflation and saturation of groups. A lot of groups start to pop up, like East M Black C and Blue B1A from Block B, BAP,
Oh my gosh.
Teen Top US, and more.
There's
For
so
girl
many.
groups, After School Tiara, Rainbow Secret, Miss A, Nine Muses, Girls' Day, Sister,
Oh,
APP, SID,
jeez.
808, and more. So the groups that debuted in the late 2000s and early 2010s are tricky to categorize.
Plus, from this point on, please don't hate me for not going in depth of every single group or missing some of them, because that would change the title of this video to K-pop history explained in 200 minutes.
But if we were to say there was a dominant group of this transition era, it's EXO. EXO debuts in 2012 in two groups, EXO-M and EXO-K.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to
Another
try to
experimental
react to
approach from
as many
SM
as I
tried to divide
can.
and expand markets.
If
Anyways,
I
EXO
don't
wins,
get to
pops,
your
and
favorite
grows.
group right
China is
away,
basically
I'm sorry,
EXO's.
you
EXO
know,
has
but
the
there's
biggest
just
and
so
also
many
most
I'm
notorious fandom
just
in
picking
Korea.
randomly
That's how
here.
much people love EXO. They put out hit after hits.
But I'll try to
Growl,
get to
Overdose,
even
Call
like
Me Baby,
the
Monster,
smaller
Loto. Their
groups. I
only
want to
rival
listen to
might
that
be the
too.
still yet
Indie
hugely
groups,
successful Big
you
Bang.
know,
And then they
groups
slowly
that
opened the
aren't
doors
as
to
popular.
third gen. Now these are some of the characteristics
Just
of
to
the third
see,
generation
you know, a
of
range
K-pop.
of things.
1. Mass inflation and red ocean of
Third
idols,
gen.
saturated market. 2. Globalization as a norm, catching the global audience is a must. 3. Idol audition survival programs. Because of the red ocean of idols, naturally the mass public begins to dislike K-pop idols due to lack of creativity, overlapping concepts, and exhaustion of idol music.
A lot of
This is
colored
when
hair.
the public starts to divide the term idol with artist. Many major TV audition programs become popular looking for real talented singers and vocals rather than visually appealing dance-based idols that only get to sing a few seconds in one song. Well, this is what the public thought at
Shifted.
that time. I know there are exceptions among idols too. Oh yeah, in the meantime, in 2012, the worldwide viral hit Size Gangnam Style happened, getting the once most viewed video on the planet, thanks to its addictive, hilarious
that song
dance
is
and
crazy.
beat. It got a number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100. This was basically the first time that the entire world notices a country called South Korea and K-pop without having to mention nukes and this dude. And that's North Korea, by the way. In the third gen, despite the influx of idol groups, the only ones that survive are groups that have amazing music quality or musical talent or something different. Because the Korean market is so small and saturated, it now becomes a norm to have at least more than one global English-speaking member in the group. This member usually is in charge of speaking during overseas interviews and tours. Not only member-wise, but
Yeah, I'm
marketing
sure
and
it helps to
music-wise, the
have,
attempts become more globalized too,
members
testing
that
out
speak
new markets
English
such
or
as
other
South
languages.
America. In the meantime, the public and
That's how you're
entertainment
gonna
companies
get
want a system to
people
get the best
overseas
quality idols out there.
to be
And
interested.
That is by following the TV trend by making TV audition survival programs with
You have to be open to
worldwide
that.
contestants. This system allows
If you want to
idols
be
gain publicity
an
even
internationally
before
known
debut, and also
group.
verified popularity and talent. Although audition programs such as Produce 101 to Produce X have been extremely popular, it got caught in a corruption and manipulation issue recently, which likely put out the credibility and support towards these survival programs.
Indicted?
Now, to name
Wow.
a few groups that are
For
leading the
what?
third generation currently, definitely the girl group Trinity, Twice, Blackpink, Red
Scamming
Velvet.
people?
JYP's girl group Twice has earned the absent Nation's girl group
Twice.
title since Girls' Generation, along with major hit songs that dominated Korea and Japan mostly, like Cheer Up, TT, Knock Knock, Likey, and Fancy. Interestingly, these girls were also a result of an audition program called 16. Taiji's girl group Blackpink has the record of most YouTube views, 56.7 million in 24 hours. with
Hey guys,
its
they're
Tourist
mentioned in
Love
this
music
one.
video topping Ariana Grande. Their music videos have this much views each,
Jeez.
which saves my time on trying to explain and prove their popularity. Also, they're the highest charting female K-pop group on Billboard Hot 100 and 200, plus they had an epic stage at Coachella too. SM girl group Red Velvet might not be as big as the former two in size, but is always
The
praised
Red
by the
Velvet?
public and critics for their unique sound and high quality songs. Time magazine has highlighted their versatile musical style and named them as one of the best K-pop groups. Billboard agreed too in 2019. Fun fact, Red Velvet was the first K-pop group to perform in North Korea, and Kim Jong-un adjusted the schedule to go see them. Now let's not try
Wow.
to leave out many other
That's a lot of
talented,
pressure, if
hardworking
I'd
girl
say.
groups such as Mamamoo, Momoland, Luna, IZ*ONE, G-Idol, CLC, Dreamcatcher, G-Friend, Lovelyz, Oh My Girl, Ujusonya, Kongwonsonya, Everglow, Wicked Mickey, and more.
Keep
As
going.
for boy groups, it's hard to pick a definitive popularity or impact, but just to name a few, 17, NCT GOT7, Winner, iKON, Monsta X, AT, Stray Kids are definitely the biggest and most popular globally. Most of these groups
Yep, you guys have
actively
been
go on
suggesting
world
those ones.
tours and appear on Western TV shows nowadays. And then there are groups such as
DAV, Impact, Victon, Astro, Pentagon, SF9, The Boys, Ace, JBJ, Golden Child, Intuit, UMB, Very Very, One Us, and more.
so many girl groups, boy groups.
The
mixed
only
groups,
place I
new
would
global
recognize those
audience,
is
thus
from your
various
comments,
music
guys.
styles
So
as well.
keep
You name
commenting,
it,
keep
K-pop
suggesting,
has it.
because that's
you
where
don't
I'm
like groups, super
I'm
produced
learning a
modern
lot
electronic
and
music?
learning
Maybe
about
try
other
IU
groups
out.
too.
She's Korea's nation's sister and also nation's singer. Been around since 2008 with numerous ballad and K-pop hit songs. Single-handedly has the popularity equivalent to K-pop's biggest idols. Then there's K-hip hop, R&B, a whole scene of its own. Maybe check out Zico, who has an overlap background with K-pop.
Looks pretty
Then
cool.
there's rock. Maybe check out bands like Day6 and Flying the Rose and more. So it's already 2020, technically 10
I gotta tell you,
years
I'm really
have passed
interested in
again, and
those
the line is blurring
those
between
bands there,
third gen
the
and fourth gen.
Day6
Then what would
and
be the
the
standards
Rose.
of dividing the generations? I
think
can't
that's
be the one
my
deciding, but
personal
just to add
type
my
of music.
personal 2 cents, maybe the line could be drawn by observing groups that start off already with a bigger fandom globally rather than domestically in Korea from the pre-debut and rookie
But all-
phase.
I mean, all
In
of it's
short, maybe
really
no still more
interesting.
validation
I
or
want to check it
dependence
all
from
out.
Korean fans needed? Or there's an alternative view of simply drawing the line by post BTS. And yes, I know y'all are screaming, what?
Videos
Not a
look
single
so
mention
cool.
of BTS until now, but hold on a little bit more. I have a whole buffet for you. Well, anyways, this whole generation dividing process is a whole debate subject of its own, so let's just leave it there and throw it to the comment section. Finally, there is one group that needs a thorough separate section in K-pop history, and it is BTS.
Yep.
BTS started off from a small company called Big Hit under the producer named Bang Si-hyuk, who was a former colleague
They
and
get
good
their own
friend
section,
of JYP, but split paths to make his own company. Bang Si-hyuk gathered 7 members originally and planned to make a hip-hop group. However, the content and musical style diversified over the years. BTS didn't gain much attention during their first years, often getting mocked by their group name that means Bulletproof Boy Scouts, and apparently some or many people thought their appearances were unpretty. However, BTS differentiated themselves with other idols by speaking about the unspoken in their lyrics, such as mental health, youth problems, social issues, and the journey towards loving oneself. BTS also made their own universe and story in their music videos. They made moderate success until they got mainstream with their songs like I Need You, Dope, Save Me, and Fire. After that, every
did that
they made pretty much
all
became
before they
Christmas.
went
They
mainstream,
topped the
huh?
Billboard 200 charts 4 times in a row alongside the Beatles, appeared on multiple major American TV shows, got awarded by the Billboard Music Awards, AMAs multiple times, did a
See, that's
Grammys
huge
act,
if you
did
get
a
on the
UN
late night
speech,
shows.
did a cover of
James
Times, had
Corden.
stadium world tours including Wembley and
Jeez.
Saudi Arabia, sold over 20 million cumulative albums to this date. BTS has become so big that they become
Arenas.
expressed as the BTS or Korean invasion, just like the British invasion from the Beatles,
Yeah, they're
by
the
multiple
only
critics and journalists. Many point out that it's
international
even more
artist
significant
on that
regarding the
little
fact that
chart there.
BTS's music and lyrics were not in English but in Korean. Also started off as underdogs in the K-pop industry itself, struggling without the support of big capital nor media. In the meantime, there might have been attempts to compete with BTS, for example, SM making their own Avengers by combining members from existing successful groups like SHINee, EXO, NCT into a collaborative single group called Super M. Well, they did get a number
Super
1 on
M.
Billboard 200, but many people criticized the method of bundling issues in the process. However, industry-wise, it was a fresh attempt that never happened in K-pop history, trying to officially combine members from different groups into one with an agenda to make success in the American or global market. And it is these new attempts that fuel K-pop to go further on. Anyways, back to BTS, it's not an overstatement to say that BTS is probably bigger than all of K-pop combined at this point.
Grand Central?
However, from SeoTaiji to BTS, many groups existed, and every time records were broken, people were surprised. Back then, no one imagined anything bigger than TVXQ, Girls' Generation, Big Bang, EXO, Gangnam Style. But here we are. K-pop is still evolving. The market
Flash
is getting
mobs.
bigger and it's becoming more well known all around
That's
the world.
cool.
So it's definitely going to be interesting to see
Where's
what
that?
happens in the future of K-pop. Will it just disappear as a
Jeez.
trend or get even
It's
bigger
huge.
like it always has?
Awesome. Thank you to DKDKTV for that one. Alright, so I enjoyed watching this type of overview video now that I'm a little more familiar with K-pop in general. Honestly, it just pumped me up to watch some more. And I'm sure I can binge, and it's really hard not to, but part of the reason I started this channel is because I wanted to document and share what it's like to experience it all for the first time with you guys. So again, if you enjoyed my reaction content, please like and subscribe, leave a comment down below. Thanks for joining me, and until next time.